Everybody, it is Mama to Wife of One. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. I am a content creator, a social media influencer, also a writer, editor, and as my name suggests, I'm also a mommy of two, and I'm a wife of one. Normally, I'm on here doing a review and recap of a reality show or another, but this time I want to talk about one of the things I'm very passionate about, and that is award shows. Now, not all award shows, but primarily the Grammys, the Oscars, sometimes the Tonys, even though I don't see any of the plays. The Tonys are just always interesting to me. I like the SAG Awards, Critics' Choice, and the Emmys. I'm very big on all that. I love the fashion. I love the acceptance speeches. Sometimes I care about the actual performances, like for Grammys or whatever, but I just love the awards. And normally, I go on Facebook because I'm old, and I normally just go back and forth with friends and family about what I'm seeing, who said what, who wore what I liked, what I didn't like. And I was like, you know what? This year, instead of doing that on Facebook, why not I just take some notes and make a YouTube video? So that's why I'm here, guys. We're here to talk about the Grammys, the 2024 Grammys to be exact. And I have some notes. I'm not going to go in order. I may miss some of your favorite moments for the show if you chose to watch it. All of your favorite moments, or even the moments that I may talk about that you didn't see, I'm sure they're all available on YouTube by now because that's just how YouTube works. They're on there within 24 hours. So I'm not going to go in order at all. These are just things that I was thinking about. So, one of the things was I made this TikTok video about the performance of Luke Combs and Tracy Chapman singing Fast Car. Tracy Chapman is, I don't know what genre she would fit in exactly. It's not it's not really R&B, but regardless, she is a black artist. She wrote a song called Fast Car that came out in the 80s, I believe. Luke Combs is a white country singer who redid the song. And he was very clear that, hey, this song is Tracy Chapman's, and he has a beautiful voice, very nice voice, and he performed it. So the Grammys, they announced that he's gonna come to the stage and he's gonna perform Fast Car. Quick aside, one thing I didn't like that the Grammys did this year is that each person that performed, and granted, it's the Grammys, it's the music awards, so they have tons of actual musical performances with all different genres. So I thought this was very necessary. Just drew it made the show a lot longer than it needed to be, and the show's already 3.5 hours. When they introduce someone, so let's say it's me, and they're like, "Come to the stage, is Mom to Wife of One singing Poetry Girl or whatever." Instead of the stage lighting up and me appearing and starting to sing the song or music starting to play, they instead showed a clip, almost like a commercial of the artist, where they're talking about the song, maybe what inspired them to write it, how they're looking forward to singing at the Grammys, whatever it was. But it was still like shot like a promo video for the person performing. That just took up time, and that was stupid. So I didn't care for that. And they did that for every artist. I didn't like that. But getting back to Tracy Chapman, Luke Combs. When Trevor Noah, who was the host, said Luke Combs was performing Fast Car, he did not mention Tracy Chapman. So that was a surprise for the whole crowd. Let me explain the setup. Sometimes when an artist does a song or samples a very popular song, they may bring the original artist on stage with them. But normally there's a bunch of like fireworks and explosions and there's all this stuff going on. They come out and they start their song, they're doing whatever, and then the original artist may come and make a quick cameo, maybe for 15 seconds. Maybe they just pop up, up to say hey or something. It'll just be really quick. But it's them saying, hey, I got this from this person, bow down to them. Because of them, I was able to make this song, right? And it's fine, it's whatever. This performance started with Tracy Chapman. She was not brought on as an afterthought. She didn't like poke her head out real quick and say hi. She probably had the spotlight on her more than Luke Combs did. And so to see her in all her dreadlocked glory, and the last time she sung the song on the Grammy stage was 1988. So talking 36 years ago. And she came out looking beautiful, regal, as black women tend to do. And she started playing the guitar. She started singing Fast Car. And then Luke Combs came up after she sung maybe the first verse. And he starts singing with her. And at the end, he's like bowing down to her. And when I tell you, I didn't shed a tear, but I got very emotional and very teary eyed because as a black woman, I don't get to see that often. A white man who is not only celebrating this black woman, but willingly sharing this space with her and allowing people to honor her the way he has been trying to honor her. It was a beautiful moment, and it was one of my favorite moments of the night. And I was very emotional, very emotional. But I really enjoyed that part. Another part that I didn't quite enjoy is this ongoing debate about which award should be televised and which one shouldn't be. Like I said, Grammy Awards are already 3.5 hours long, and we're talking at least 5 to 6 performances that last anywhere from 3 to 7, 8 minutes, I think. And then you have the in memoriam, which is stretched out. And of course, you have your commercials, you have the acceptance speeches. So they had that for 3.5 hours. They had another ceremony, a pre ceremony, that was not televised. But apparently, because I found out today, is over 3 hours long by itself. And the entire 3 hour ceremony is on YouTube right now. So you can watch it for free if you want to. And that pre ceremony also has performances, which I thought was strange. Like, that, I thought that was so weird. But it had performances as well. All of the rap hip hop categories, all of the gospel categories were all in that prepackage. Now, granted, those are the two categories that I care about, but they also had all of the heavy metal and like hard rock, jazz, spoken word. All of those were in the pre Grammy ceremony. Popular genres, but I'm sure they're not going to do that because that would cost so much money and blah blah blah. But they mix it up or something because gospel has not been televised in a long time. Rap is like kind of hit or miss. I know they had Cardi B and Meg The Stallion. It was televised when they won, but last night I think Killer Mike swept the hip hop rap categories, and it wasn't televised. He was there to get his Grammy, and at the end of the day, you still have a Grammy with your name on it, right? Whether televised or not, you still can say that you are a Grammy Award winner. But it's like, I don't know. I just thought that was strange. And Jay Z mentioned that in his speech that they need to kind of do better with televising, not everything, but they got to figure that out. Even if, because I know every category you have best album, right? But also at the Grammys, you have record of the year, you have album of the year, you have song of the year, I think, and you have best collaboration. But the collaboration, I think that's also for country, that's for R&B, that's for hip hop. So maybe just, I don't know. There has to be a way to include more categories though. And again, I don't know who makes that decision, but something kind of needs to give. Speaking of Jay Z, he was given the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award. I thought it was well deserved. I actually like Jay Z as a businessman, as an artist. So I'll give all props to him. There's a lot of buzz about his speech because he called out the Grammys for A, not always televising the hip hop and R&B categories, and B, not giving his wife her due. And he didn't say her name, but obviously we all know who he was talking about. But he said it doesn't make sense that there's a young lady in this room who has won more Grammys than absolutely everybody in the history of Grammys. Yet she has never won Album of the Year. An Album of the Year is the pinnacle award. That's the last award of the night. That is like the main one that everybody wants to get. I feel like the most coveted awards are probably Album of the Year and Best New Artist, I think. And, he makes sense. He's like, by your own estimation, if this person is the one who won the most Grammys ever, how could she not have won Album of the Year at some point? Beyonce, and granted, I'm not in the Beehive, I'm not a stan. I appreciate her and I like her music, but I've listened to maybe a couple total albums, but I've heard enough from other people that everyone raves about Lemonade, they rave about Renaissance, and they rave about Self Titled and a couple of her other albums. But in all the years that she's been out, and she has been an artist since at least 97, maybe a little before that. So we're talking over 25 years you've been in this industry and you haven't gotten one record of the year, album of the year. I do think that's kind of strange, but I appreciated him bringing it to just not being afraid to speak out on it. I feel like Jay-Z is really good for that. He's never been afraid to just kind of speak his piece. Another thing I liked, Coco Jones. Now, if you guys don't know who she is, I'll admit that I wasn't overly familiar with her up until maybe 4 or 5 years ago. She is a singer. She's also an actress. She, I guess, got her start on Disney Channel in this show called Let It Shine, I think. It was a gospel, like original Disney movie, but it has some gospel music in it. And actually, Tyler James Williams, who is on Abbott Elementary, he's in the movie with her, and they are such babies and it's so cute. But basically, she's this beautiful chocolate singer, beautiful chocolate girl. And there was this whole campaign, I guess, a few years ago that a person on social media, I think Instagram started, that said, "Where in the world is Coco Jones?" Because she was so incredibly talented. She was good in the movie. Apparently, she did like a couple Disney songs, was on like Disney radio, and then, by their estimation, she basically disappeared. What happened to her? She was so talented. How come she didn't make it further? So it started all this buzz, and she started being in people's mouths again. And then I saw her on an internet show, the Terrell Show. It's a really great show on YouTube. You guys should watch it, where he basically interviews musical artists and he plays a word association game with them, and they play songs, or they sing songs. She and he had great chemistry. They became really good friends in real life. And through her doing that and just being a little, just people recognizing her a little more, recognizing her talent, she landed on the new Peacock show Bel Air as Hilary Banks. And then she started singing again. She has a song called I See You, which is a beautiful, beautiful song. I hear it every day still when I get in the car. And all she was nominated for 3 or 5 Grammys. I think she may be nominated for 5. And I was just so ecstatic for her that she was nominated. Even without her winning, I was like, she'll forever be known as Grammy Award nominated Coco Jones. And for as long as she's been in this business, and as hard as she's worked, and she seems like she has a really sweet spirit, I was just excited for her to be nominated. So when I found out she won her first Grammy, I didn't cry, but I was like, yes. Again, they will not take that away from you. You will forever be Grammy Award winning Coco Jones. That just made my night. I didn't really care about anything else because I didn't even know half the people in some of these categories. But I was like, yes, girl, you deserve this. I'm so happy for you. Speaking of deserved, Miley Cyrus. Now again, not a Miley Cyrus like huge fan. I don't know all of her songs. The song Flowers, I mainly know that song from TikTok. But I like the message of the song, that I can buy myself flowers. It's like, you know what? I can buy myself flowers. I don't gotta wait for another person. Haven't seen the video. I don't even know the entirety of the song. I know just that one part. But she won her first Grammy for that song. And I was like, you know what? I'm not mad at that. I appreciate it. I like the song. It is a great message. And I don't think I realized it was her first one. I was like, you know what? Go ahead, girl. So I was happy for her too. What else made me excited? Oh, okay. This didn't make me excited. This pissed me off. So, one thing I love watching these award shows, I told you I like watching the dresses, I like hearing the acceptance speeches, and this may sound morbid, and I don't care. I love the in memoriam part of every single award show. I like to see which song they picked to sing or to have somebody play. I like being reminded, I don't know why, I like being reminded of who has passed away in the industry, and I just like to see them pay homage to those people. So the Grammys, of course, a little bit different because these are musicians. Of course, you're going to have someone live singing or playing an instrument. But most of the time, it's not just one singer. Other award shows like the SAGs, the Oscars, or whatever, you'll see a group singing a song or somebody just playing an instrumental, and it'll just be them starting, and then you'll see pictures of all the people who passed away behind them as the song continues to play throughout the whole reel, right? That's it. Very simple. The Grammys are never simple when it comes to this, because every year we have really big artists, obviously, that have passed away. And it's like, oh, well, these big artists need to be recognized. But in the midst of them being recognized, you still have to recognize some of the lesser known artists, because obviously it's not just musicians, not just singers. You have producers, you have songwriters, you have people who produced the Grammy Awards in the past. Like, you have a lot of different music executives, all that stuff. So they had a total of 4 performances. What I did not like is that there was no continuity. It was very static. It was very chaotic. It didn't flow well at all. And I just thought, and there was also some technical difficulties with them showing faces of people before they were supposed to show their faces. Let me break it down. It starts with Stevie Wonder at a piano, and he is paying tribute to his friend Tony Bennett, who passed away last year. So, what's supposed to happen, or what normally happens, is the person will start playing the song, and you may see just a singular picture of Tony Bennett in the background, and then while Stevie's playing, you're supposed to see other pictures. This is not what happened. Stevie first proceeds to talk to us because, when you have reached that stature, you kind of get to do whatever you want. So he starts talking to the audience about Tony Bennett, and I miss my friend. I love him. And I remember when I covered his song for Once in My Life, and it was just great. He enjoyed it. And it's like, okay, let's get to it. So he tells the story, And then behind him, you see video footage of Tony Bennett, and it was almost like they were singing the duet together. Because I guess the video footage in the video, whatever that video was shot, Stevie Wonder was actually in the place where Tony Bennett was singing. So the live Stevie is responding to Tony Bennett's past self. It's really hard to explain, but Tony Bennett is singing the song. They're like, "Take it away, Stevie," and then Stevie picks it up and starts playing. So they sing the song for Once in My Life with Tony Bennett's video playing. And after that, Stevie Wonder starts playing another Tony Bennett song, and you see pictures of people who have passed away. And then the lights go up. And I was like, that's not a lot of people. I don't think that was everybody. So they had that. And then it immediately goes to the stage where you see Annie Lennox. And beside her, these two women named Wendy and I can't remember Wendy's sisters. Song, or I don't know if he covered the song or he's the original, a song called Nothing Compares to You. The song either was originally sung or covered by Sinead O'Connor, who passed away. And that's who Annie Lennox was paying tribute to, was Sinead O'Connor. So she's singing Nothing Compares to You. You just see a picture of Sinead O'Connor. She's singing. And then the music kind of gets a little softer. And then you start seeing faces of other people passed away. And then it ends with Sinead O'Connor. It's like, okay, we already saw. We don't need to see her a second time, but whatever. So that happens. Everybody applauds. This is great. It's still not a lot of people. I'm like, they're missing some people. John Batiste comes out with a full-fledged choir. He has Ann Nesby. He's singing something and it starts off slow and then it turns like it's like church revival music. And some people feel a certain type of way when it comes to in memoriam. Some people want like the slow and quote unquote respectful music. Some people want it to be a celebration of life. And I think for traditionally, I think for Black people, we tend to err on the latter, where it's like, yeah, we'll have the slow songs, but we want to make sure we're also celebrating the fact that this person lived, this person left their impact, this person, made an impact on so many people. So let's, celebrate what they contributed to this life, right? So he's playing, and again, it turns to a church revival, and that kind of threw me off. And playing some more faces, and this was in tribute to Clarence Avant. And even before he started playing, it wasn't a seamless thing from Annie Lennox to John Batiste. No, of course, because why would it be? Annie Lennox does her section, and then we go to Lenny Kravitz, who talks about Clarence Avant and how Clarence Avant. I was very happy they did a tribute to him because Clarence Avant. If you've never seen The Black Godfather on Netflix, watch that documentary. Clarence Avant was a brilliant businessman who was all about forging relationships in Black music, and he did a lot. So watch Black Godfather on Netflix if you haven't already. Lenny Kravitz talks about Clarence Avant, then John Batiste does his performance. After his performance, then Oprah comes out and talks about Tina Turner. This was too much. It was just what it was too much. There was no fluidity to it. Like if you went from one performance to the next while the pictures are still going across the screen, then that's something different. I think that would have been a little better. But Stevie giving his little spiel about Tony Bennett, it shouldn't have had Tony Bennett's video playing with him because then Stevie got to play two songs and everybody else only did one. Sinead O'Connor only showed her face once to just do the song and then go on to the next person. You didn't need to have Lenny Kravitz talking about Clarence Avant, just go into John Batiste. Oprah didn't come out talking about Tina Turner. It was just too much. And again, that's one of my favorite parts of an award show. And I was like, this is a terrible in memoriam segment. I didn't care for it. But the highlight was the Tina Turner tribute. Because one thing I will say that I appreciate that the Grammys did, whenever a big Black star passes away, they typically call their go-to Jennifer Hudson. Now, Jennifer Hudson has a beautiful voice. Beautiful, smooth sounding voice. Tina Turner did not have a smooth voice. She had a great voice, very powerful, but it was jagged. It was rough. It was guttural. Jennifer Hudson, she could probably do that, but that's not her wheelhouse. So I was very happy that they chose to have Fantasia do the tribute to Tina Turner. And she did it beautifully. Her tribute was amazing. It was full of energy. It was great. And I'm not just saying that because she's my soror, but she did really, really well. So that was kind of the saving grace. And I'm glad that that was the end of the in memoriam. But the whole in memoriam I thought was just really all over the place. Didn't care for it. What else do I have in my notes? Trevor Noah as the host, I thought he was fine. I feel like Trevor Noah, he is, I won't say he's desired taste. I think the things he says are humorous. He doesn't necessarily make me laugh, but the things he says are humorous, and I think he's a safe bet. He's going to talk about things. He's going to be funny. He's not going to be crass. He's not going to be offensive, but he's not going to necessarily shy away from things either. So I thought he was fine as a host. He does a decent job, and it's like, not a big deal. That's fine. Song of the year went to Billie Eilish. That's what I'm made for, or made of. I think that's what I'm made for. And it's from the Barbie soundtrack. And this song has been winning everything. It's swept at every single award show that Billie Eilish has been to. I know the Oscar awards are going to come up soon. I'm almost positive she's going to win an Oscar for Best Song in a Film. But I personally wanted that award to go to Dua Lipa, who has a song from the Barbie soundtrack as well called Dance the Night Away. I just think it's a really catchy song. It's really fun. So I just wanted her to win just because I just made a note of that. I was like, oh, Billie Eilish just seems like the predictable win. And I love when we see something out of the box like, oh my gosh, I didn't expect it. I like when we have those moments. Speaking of, oh my gosh, I didn't expect it. Meryl Streep. They kept showing her face. I'm like, well, what the freak is she doing at the Grammys? I've just never seen her there. Come to find out, she is the stepmother, the mother-in-law of Mark Ronson. I had no idea. And I don't know if you know who Mark Ronson is. He's an amazing songwriter. I think he's a producer as well. But I had no idea that was his mother-in-law. So I was like, oh, now it makes sense. But you didn't find out to the end of the show. I was like, oh, got it. That makes sense. Another thing, they had the divas come out this award season. The very first award of the night, the presenter was Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey's not going to be in the audience. She probably came, and it was, I don't know if people knew she was there. She came out in this beautiful floor length gold gown, looked amazing, looked flawless. It was great. My girl came out, standing ovation. And I love when an artist gets to that level where their presence alone elicits a standing ovation. That just makes me happy. And she has put her time in. She has done the work. She don't need to write another song a day in her life if she don't want to. She has done the daggone thing. So she deserved to have her immediate standing ovation moment. So I was very happy for that. And then the last award of the night was given out by another diva, Celine Dion. Now I don't know all of the health complications she has, but apparently it's a big deal when she comes out because I guess she's been sick. I don't really know what she has. I didn't look into it. I was kind of confused by her wearing, I could tell she was wearing a floating dress, but she had a coat over it. So I don't know if whatever her health complications are, it results in her being really cold. Like, I don't know. So I didn't want to critique what she was wearing because I don't know if there's a reason for it. So I just kind of let it go. But I was happy to see both of them on the stage presenting the first and the last award. I thought that was nice. My last thought, again, I think one of the biggest awards given is Best New Artist. I will say that I didn't know all the people in the Best New Artist category, but it seemed like it was a really stacked category and that it really could have gone to anybody. I was personally rooting for Coco Jones, but to quote Issa Rae, I'm really rooting for everybody black. And I was very happy that Victoria Monet walked away with it. And I believe she had at least, I think she won 3 or 4 Grammys, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know a lot about her. I know her song is all over TikTok, which I'm sure did not hurt to have. I put that on my mama. Everybody's like TikTok video doing these dances. And that's such a smart idea for all of these artists to finally start embracing TikTok because that's how these songs are getting played so many times. And that's how these artists are getting recognized. And their songs I hear on the radio, I was like, oh, I thought it was just a TikTok song. Okay. So I was very happy for her. And she looked very shocked, surprised, happy. But I love the fact that all the other Best New Artist nominees seemed to really rally around her and they're very excited for her. So I was very happy for her. And some of the performances, I mean, Miley Cyrus's performance, I didn't really watch. I was like, I mean, okay. Didn't really watch hers. And the Afrobeats performance, I don't know if that's the first time that there's been an Afrobeats performance on the Grammy stage. You guys can tell me in the comments if it's the first time or not. I appreciate it. Brandy was out there and 21 Savage. You guys know that song Sitting on Top of the World that Brandy did for the Wait and Excel soundtrack. They had looped, not looped, but they used her singing the chorus on a Afrobeat song that they play on the radio, at least out here all the time. So that performance was cool. In the pre-show, Ty Tribbett won a Grammy. I think Kirk Franklin won a couple. Jay Ivy won Best Spoken Word album. I was very happy for him. He's from Chicago. He's featured on, I believe, Kanye West's his College Dropout album, I believe. He actually came to my college to speak, so I was very excited for him. Michelle Obama, I believe, won for Best audiobook. Dave Chappelle won for Best Comedy Album, so I was happy for him. And yeah, that's pretty much all that happened at the Grammy Awards. I didn't pay too much attention to fashion like I normally do now that I think about it. I did have this comment, and this is probably a sexist comment. Again, I don't care. I understand Billie Eilish has her thing, right? I get it. Her thing is like really oversized things. She was wearing, looked like a Barbie, like Letterman jacket, and I couldn't even tell you what else she was wearing. Everything just kind of hangs on her. I understand that's her shtick, but just once, I would love for her to put on a dress. It doesn't have to be tight. I don't need to see a bunch of skin. I don't need to see a slit. It don't have to be no sparkles on it. But I want to see her make an effort at least to fit the vibe of the award show. And I'm not saying go out of your way to be something that you're not, because for everything else, sure, wear your thing. But it's like, it's the Grammys, it's the Oscars. I don't know what you're going to wear at the Oscars, but it's like, just for the event, just dress a little bit for the event, just to match the vibe of the event. The Oscars, nobody comes to the Oscars looking frumpy. Everyone comes to the Oscars looking their sharpest because it is the biggest night for most of these people. So that was the only comment I kind of had. And again, I didn't put it out there because I was like, people are gonna be like, oh, well, you're trying to change her, make her all girly. I'm not trying to do nothing. Again, I just think it's just kind of match the environment. That's all I'm saying. Everybody else looked fine. Like I said, I like Mariah Carey's dress. None of the men stood out as wearing anything inappropriate or anything that was like, oh, it was just like, okay. Everybody looked perfect. I like Victoria Monet's dress. She was pretty. That's pretty much it. But those are my thoughts on the Grammy. So let me know in the comments below what if you watched the show, what was your favorite moment? Who do you think got robbed in their category? And what else? Maybe that's it. Or was there an outfit that you guys liked? Was there anything that stood out to you? Was there anything that should have been improved or should have been done better? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you like this video, share the video with other people who watch the show or are interested in the Grammys or just want to see my beautiful face. Comment below and then also subscribe to my channel. I'd love to hear from you guys. And I'll have another video soon where I'm talking about some documentaries that I'm into as well. Because in addition to award shows, I love a good documentary, y'all. Love it. And I love recommending documentaries to people. So I'm actually going to watch a documentary on Run DMC. They have a documentary on Peacock, I believe. So I'll be watching that sometime this week. And I also watch a documentary on We Are the World. If you guys are not around my age or older, you have no idea what that is, I'll tell you about it in the video. But yeah, I hope to see you guys soon. Peace.